Hi, this is Mike. Thanks for joining me. Another request from Mango Hippie in the form of Gina Jeffreys singing Two Stars Fell. I think this is from the 1995. Wow. All right, man. So let's just bring her up here and yeah, let's just get right into it.
They were only 17, but they were so in love. And on a Friday night in August, with the moon above, he took the young girl's hand in his and looked into her eyes. He said, "There's just no use waiting, be my wife." She whispered yes, and then out of the sky, two stars fell. It was the kind of magic evening young lovers know so well. They held each other tight and swore to love nobody else. They closed their eyes and made one wish that night, and two stars fell. Both the families thought the thing would never last. Everybody knew those kids were moving way too fast.
All right, man. So when this came out, it was early 90s, and I was still serving in the Marine Corps at NAS Dallas. And, listening to the 90s back then would have been like Trisha Yearwood and Faith Hill. Gina had just been playing up here, and I've never heard this song, so I don't think it played in the States or played very often, maybe. But she would have fit right in with those powerhouses, like I said, Trish Yearwood and Faith Hill and several more female country singers. Apparently in Australia, just doing the research, that prior to Gina coming along with this album, that country music in Australia was predominantly male singers, and she kind of broke that glass ceiling and became one of the first female country singers that really took off and did well. So yeah, man, sounds good.
At first it wasn't easy, but somehow they made it through. 'Cause whenever they weren't sure just what to do, they remembered that first night when they both knew, and two stars fell. For more than 60 years they never left each other's side, still holding hands like kids the day she finally closed her eyes. Time would pass, and then at last on a clear November night, the Lord reached down for him, and all at once from way up high, two stars fell. It was the kind of magic evening young lovers know so well. They held each other tight and swore to love nobody else. They closed their eyes and made one wish that night, and two stars fell. Two stars fade.
It's nice when you're out at the mall, or you're out doing something out in town, and you see two older people holding hands that have been like that their whole entire decades long marriage. And ironically, I just read a thing on Facebook of that came across my feed of this girl who her parents, uh, did everything together, and then in late in their life, and they just passed away the beginning of this month. But late in their life, their health started failing, and it the lady who was writing this said that ironically the health on both of them started failing pretty much at the same time. And dad passed away in the first part of May on hospice, and she noted that her mom was on hospice at the same time. And it's funny, she was asking people to pray that her mom would pass away so they could have because her mom and dad wanted a double funeral. I mean, that's how close those two people were, and it happened. Mom passed away, I think, a week later or whatever, and they had a double funeral, and they had a picture there of those caskets side by side. And that's that kind of companionship and love, and you don't see that a whole lot. Maybe we just don't see, maybe we're just, our eyes aren't open to that. My parents were married for forever. After my mom died, my mom died at fairly young. She died at the age I am right now. She died at 66. And my dad was 67. Within a year, my dad was remarried. So I don't know how. I don't know, man. I don't know that I could do that if something happened to my wife. Yeah, because I feel like with her, I've had love. So what's left? It'd be unfair to somebody else, because I'd always be comparing that other person to her. So, yeah, man, I would just, I guess, take up fishing or something. Spoil the granddaughters until it was my time. I think what was the punchline in that? Not punchline, but what one of the phrases that they used was, two stars fell down, and yeah. So that's where Grandma reached. He heard Grandma when it was his final time. It was a cool song, cool message, and obviously uber attractive, Miss Gina. And I've done one of her before called Cash, and later in her life, and she's still very, very attractive. All right, y'all. Thanks, Mango. Thanks everybody for showing up. Till I see y'all again, I'll catch you down the road. Bye, y'all.